Hi there, YouTube. Today I'd like to talk about the protesters at Berkeley University and these whole protesting thing at the moment that we're having, that are basically protesting free speech by demanding a lack of free speech. Now, you have to be careful what you wish for here, because we're in the middle of this whole social justice warrior clusterfuck where they don't want to do history if it involves white people. They don't want to do there's somewhere, I think, in the UK where they're actually trying to ban white philosophers from a course because they're white, not because of what they said in the days gone by, but because they're white philosophers. We've had black students not wanting to be taught by white teachers, and now, which isn't really, and this isn't news really, is we've got these continuing conversations about Milo Yiannopoulos, where protesters are basically demanding that he not be allowed to speak. Now, and then, of course, just as one final bit, you've got Black Lives Matter basically saying that they want special treatment, and we have black people being upset about being on white campuses, wanting their own safe spaces. So what you're actually wanting, all of these, it's basically, what do we want? Segregation. When do we want it? Now. Or what do we want? No free speech. When do we want it? Now. Now, if that doesn't sound regressively stupid, I don't know what is. People died so that people could have free speech. And now people are using the right of free speech to demand that free speech be got rid of. Because that's what's happening. The moment one side demands that another side be silenced, that is exactly what you are doing. The moment one side says, we don't want to hear your views purely because we don't like them, that's the destruction of free speech. Everyone has to have the right to say what they want to say. The moment you stifle something, it goes underground and it gets worse. We've had years and years and years of liberal policies where people have rolled over, and we've now got a generation of snowflakes that think if they shout loud enough and for long enough, things will get shut down for them. But the point is, it would be ironic if the next thing that gets shut down is them. Because for Milo, read the protesters. So what happens if Milo demands that people aren't allowed to riot against him? He won't, because that's not the kind of person he is, because he believes in free speech. Whatever else you think about Milo, he definitely wants people to have the right to say what they want to say. And this is the whole point. You have to allow free speech. And these people, they're just trying to stop it. And it's only a matter of time before you poke people once too often and real shit kicks off. You know, the police can't stand idly by, worrying if they're going to get accused of racism, which is where we are at the moment. At some point, they're going to have to go in, and when they go in, they're going to have to go in hard. They'll try not to go in hard, but what'll happen is they'll get accused of not really sorting it out and making it worse. We in the UK had riots a few years ago where they warned us in advance. I mean, I was worked in the city at the time, and literally they said, next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we're going to riot. So we were all sent home early. Shops boarded themselves up. We had shutters. We had riot police. And amazingly enough, the first one, everyone just went crazy. The second one, we had the police out in force. And do you know what? There wasn't a third one because the police went in hard. Because it's not so much fun for protesters when they're actually protested back again. And this is what you have to be careful of. Love him or loathe him. One of the things that Obama did as part of his build-up of people, I'm not quite sure why he did this, but he did, was he started to give armoured tanks and things and armoured carriers and things and water cannons to local police enforcement. Not quite sure why he did it, but he did start to do that. So a lot of police forces have actually got rather more than just a truncheon. Well, in the US you'll have more than truncheons, you'll have guns anyway. But, more than just handguns. These guys have got proper, these guys have got, anti-riot kit. And, a social studies degree isn't much help against a riot shield or a baton or a bullet for that matter. And if protesters aren't careful, it's going to get nasty. And you know who's going to come off worst? It's not going to be the protesters. And then what will happen is they'll get their wish. They'll get segregation, they'll get curfews, and they'll get free speech shut down. And then the land of the free, which had fought for that, will have lost all its freedoms. Think I'm getting overexcited about this thing? Well, you're probably right. But the point is, if we don't stop it now, once it's gone, it's gone.